Hey everyone, looks like we are live. Great to see you. Tonight is part 8 of painting the figure in the urban landscape. And, I'm just kind of winging this in the sense I don't have any plan or anything. I'm just working so you all get to see the mind of me, which is quite scary, I imagine, but informative as well. So I have some experience in this painting thing, and so hopefully we'll have a good time, talk about art, go over technique together, and just chill out on this Wednesday. So let's see who we have. Mr. Roy, Color Graphics, all the way from sunny New Jersey. How's it going? We have Dan. How are you, sir? All the way from Indianapolis. How is everything, sir? So great to see you. And so that is so great. And so two great guys here. I'm so glad you're here. So I'm going to get set up as I'm talking to you all. So as you can see, I didn't do anything outside of the live streams. And I think that's an advantage because you're seeing the process. You're not like, oh my God, what did he do, Let's see, we have Dave the Bug Gregory from Texas. How's everything going? We have Colette all the way in Atlanta, Georgia area. So Dave and Colette are recent transplants to different states, so that is very cool. And so how is everything in Texas? I hope everything is well. Mr. Dwayne, how's it going? San Luis de Obispo. Go Mustangs, not banana slugs. So cool. Astral, how you doing? All the way from the UK. Great to see you. How's life with for your son in Japan? I hope he has some really great stories to tell you from the Far East. So what a great group we got here. You all are so important to me, and it's just so great to see familiar faces. Well, familiar names. I know you're out there, so that's really cool. Dave says it's going, Tim. Can't wait to see the wife and kids this weekend. Oh man, that must be really tough. So yes, it's going to be great. So I hope it's exceeds your expectations. Mr. Bobby, all the way from beautiful Cape Cod. That is amazing. Bobby took this amazing photo of the water. It was just beautiful, and so I'm really happy that you get to live in such a beautiful place. Oh my God, Mr. Gregory, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you, sir. It is just so great. Thank you so much for your friendship, and I know everything's kind of upside down, probably living out of boxes right now, but taking the time out to hang with us is just great. It's great hearing of how everything is going, and thank you for your support and your continued friendship. I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. That's so cool. So here we are. This is part 8, and this, I was thinking, would it be boring if we just continue working on this? And I don't think so. I think it's good to see how I'm going to actually solve these problems, almost like math, right? So it would be cool to share that with you all. And that's why I'm not really going to work too much outside of the live streams. And Mr. Gregory says, absolutely, I have been living off ramen and Vienna sausages. Wow, that is rough. Ramen, I think he say ramen, right? And so very cool. And so thank you again, sir. And so I have my wet palette. So one of my favorite purchases of 2024 has been this. It's great. I mean, it will stay wet for weeks. Well, it gets kind of stinky with mold, but for a week you're good. Mr. Michael McClung, all the way from Maryland. It's so great to see you. How's everything, my friend? I'm loving the paintings that you're doing. I haven't seen any progress on the cars, but let me know how's it going. I believe you were doing Let me know exactly how the progress is going on them. I've been looking for your progress, but I haven't seen it. So maybe Facebook is keeping it from me. I'm not sure, Mike. But thank you for posting. You know, love seeing your work and seeing the progression. And you know, your work is just great. I enjoy it so much, and thank you so much for posting it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my reference out. Let's see. I use Pure Ref, and Pure Ref is really fantastic. I don't think I could paint as well without it because I work from the computer, and then you know my color method, which is coming up, and that's going to be working from the computer. So it's a definitely modern approach, and you know, but I'm a classical painter, so that's pretty funny. So that's cool. So I have my reference, and let me get one more program out here. And so what's new out there? Oh, Roy says he loves Vienna sausages. What kind of inexpensive foods out there do you guys love, or girls and guys and girls? What kind of inexpensive guilty pleasures do you like as far as foods? One of mine is actually hilarious. It's actually asparagus out of the can. I could eat that, like I can have like 2 cans of asparagus out of the can. Not even cooked. That's the funny thing. I love to hear some of the stuff that you guys like. Some people like anchovies. What is another one? Sardines. Uh, Pork and beans. Michael says he didn't post anything this weekend because work got a little hectic. They moved your position around in the shop. Now, moved you geographically or what you do? So that could be stressful, right? So, and also time consuming. So I understand why you did not have any, how do I say, you didn't have, you know, much progress to show. Oh, look, listen to this. So, Mr. Roy says cream chip beef. Now, do you purchase that or do you prepare that, Mr. Roy? Because that sounds pretty interesting. Or that sounds like it might be something you would do in a crock pot, right? That's cool. I'd love to hear more about that. Anyone else has a guilty kind of weird food that you like, and most people just look at you and say, "What? That's me." And what's some other things? Dave says, this is great. Sam's Club mesquite grilled chicken breasts. Throw them in the microwave for a few minutes and you have a great meat for tacos, nachos, and chicken salad. That's amazing. So Sam's Club mesquite grilled chicken breast. Oh man, I gotta try it. Just throw it in the microwave, huh? And Roy says he makes his cream chip beef. Is that really expensive? Not expensive, but time consuming. And listen to this. Mr. Astral says UK fish and chips. I love the fish and chips, right? Hey, Mr. Airtot, all the way from San Diego. So amazing to see you. How are you today? And Dan says, color graphics, that is like a SOS. And so Todd, we're talking about guilty foods, foods you might go when you're by yourself and you just, you know, you might get something out of the can or something like that most people will be going like, wow, I'm not eating that. So fish and chips is great. Now you guys actually put vinegar on your fish and chips. Is that correct over in the UK? I love my UK friends, by the way. So what is SOS? That's interesting. So Roy and Dan, what's SOS? So that's really cool. And yeah, you know what also I like? going down that chicken route. Oh, salt and vinegar, so cool. Oh my God, Roy, I can't say that. Dave, I can't say that. I'll get demonetized. But that is really funny. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Uh, so they said, Colette says, explain that one, gentlemen. That's too funny. Uh, that's hilarious. Oh no, no worries, Dave. It's all fun. It's just I can't say it. I can't say it on the live stream. You guys could do whatever you want. I can't say it. That's all. The YouTube police will get me. Oh, listen to this. Michael says chili hot dog. Now, how do you prepare that? Do you make your chili, or do you just get the chili out of the can? That's pretty cool. Listen to all these great ideas. And gravy and a piece of, oh, that's great. Gravy and a piece of toast is amazing. That is like fantastic right there. Oh, here's one funny one. You get the stuffing mix and some gravy, and I just will make the stuffing mix a little bit of gravy and hot sauce, and it's a full meal packed with sodium, and I think it cost me all of $1.90, so that's funny. Colette says you'll stick to Chicago pizza. That's funny. And Dave says SOS. That's too funny, guys. I'm drinking water lately because I've been going crazy with sugary drinks lately. You know, lemonade, iced tea. So back to water. You know. Which is important. I have my airbrushes fired up. So let's see what great stories that is. That's a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for sharing that stuff. That's the fun stuff, isn't it? That really is the fun stuff. So back to Wicked World, right? So I'm back to working with Wicked more. I'm really enjoying it, and so we're gonna go, and I'm gonna hit some of these shadows, and I think I'm gonna go with Wicked Sepia. Let me see if I have some of this. Detail Sepia, yes. Hopefully, we're not going to have any weirdness with the airbrush. No hoses exploding. I got a new hose thanks to Wendy. Wendy found a real inexpensive one that I purchased on Amazon. So that was good. And let's see. Oh, listen to this. Oh, you get chili out of the can, no beans. That's really good, Mike. I might do that one day. And Dave says rice and beans are a staple, easy to prepare and cheap because they're inexpensive. If the other way around, because you're inexpensive. That's funny. Michael says, or sometimes he'll do macaroni and cheese and add ground beef. That's like Hamburger Helper, right? That's pretty cool. And Dave says, Michael, add tuna to mac and cheese. Wow, that's great. Here's a good one. Brussels sprouts and ketchup, Colette. You know, that's exactly it. You know, you get this weird combination. You're like, I love it, you know. Sometimes I'll make a small plate of potato salad with relish and mayo and hot sauce, and oh my God. See, that's the stuff, right? That's the good stuff, I think. And it's fun to share that because, you know, that's life, right? That's just living, which is great. We're going to move our young lady aside. Finally getting smart, guys. I'm finally getting smart. I was working in oils, so I'm going to be I'll put these away. Don't mix oil in water. They don't mix. Okay. We'll put these over there so I don't forget them. And I'm going to get a fresh rag. I use these Viva ones. What rags do you guys use, and what kind of rags do you recommend? So that's cool. Oh, Colette says, Oh, her daughter's 7 months pregnant. Yes. And oh, but Astral says if Colette's pregnant, it's Colette's daughter's 7 months pregnant. Okay, cool. And oh, and Dave says he uses ketchup on grilled cheese. Ooh, that sounds good. That actually sounds good. So I'm gonna do a 1-2. Yeah, we'll do a 2-to-1. So this is D10, and Mr. Dwayne loves this. This is like one of his favorite colors, right? You always have it with you. I remember you saying. And we have your friend and mine, 4011, and I had a fresh bottle here. There we go. Fresh bottle of 4011 from the greatest airbrush company, paint company ever, which is Createx. I gotta make a trip out there just to visit them, if they will have me to just visit and talk with them. I would love that. That would be a lot of fun. Maybe I could even film it for us. That would be fantastic. And Dwayne says yes, so that's cool. And oh, congrats. Yes, congrats to Colette's family. New edition coming. And oh, Dave says, what a great start. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that on the painting. Thank you. And let's see what else. Oh, just thick tomato soup. And I'm mixing this really good. So I'm going to put a little bit of our 4050. Do I have it out? I don't think I have it out, but I have it right here. I should. Let's see. I should have 4050 out here somewhere. I'm slipping, guys. I'm slipping. Let's see. 4050. If you were 4050, where would you be? Let's see. I have all my Wicked paints out here, so 4050 should be lurking about. Probably on this side. Wow, 4050. There's 4011 again. Huh. Okay. Well, it's probably right in front of me or behind some. There it is, right behind my color wheel. See that? Sometimes you can be over-prepared. Okay. So I have my 4050. This one's opened, so that's good. Michael says, all right, Tim, can't wait for you to start the artwork. I know, I'm sorry, guys. All right. Now, we'll go ahead, a little bit of 4050. Put that in there. And we're just going to work on some of the shadows on the overhang, right? There, that's really nice now. So, I'm using the Extreme Patriot Arrow, customized by myself, great company of Badger. Love those guys. Alright, now, we are going to put this in here. I know I put too much in my airbrush, but let's see. We'll put this here. I have my scrap piece of paper, which I'll use as a makeshift frisket here. Let's put that right there. And let's see what I'm missing. Yes, that palette is, yeah, we got to get that palette christened. Yes, that's for sure, guys. Very funny. You guys are hilarious. So Wednesday nights are a lot of fun for me, as you probably have guessed. I really enjoy you all. Look forward to this. It's kind of like Cheers, you know? Where everyone just kind of hangs out, see themselves. And so I'm just going to use this. Wendy, how's it going? I was just thinking, telling everyone that you helped me to get that hose, so thank you for that. I went ahead and purchased a hose. I have to get a quick connect because I don't know what happened. Kind of got lost in all the excitement. What I'm trying to do, this is really transparent. It's okay. I think I may kind of make it opaque. But let's see. So great to see you. How you feeling? Michael says, by the way, oh, you're working on Farrah and Sally Fields. Oh, that's fantastic. That's going to be great. Farrah Fawcett is amazing. Me and Mr. Color Graphics, we're working together. He's in my mentorship program, and we're doing Wonder Woman, Linda Carter version, and we're just having the best time. She was something, wasn't she? She still is something, but I remember as a little kid, you know, she was exciting. And I'm just going to just very slowly darken things up. So the Wicked detail there, it's a line of paint that is transparent, which means you can see through it, right? So you would use that for covering, but it would just take longer. And that's what I'm doing, just not worrying, taking time. Shirley MacLaine, yeah, Shirley MacLaine is a great lady. Is she still with us, I hope? I'm kind of out of the loop. And let's see. All right, yes, we got to get this show on the road. I'm going to try and introduce some of the Wicked opaque line today. That would be fun. See, I'm just slowly darkening things. And I'm not worried like, well, that's, you know, where is this subway? Why are these colors? I'm kind of putting the colors in for my own vision. You know, of course I'm adhering to nature with her. I would never change, you know, a person. But as far as the colors in the environment, I want it to be, you know, kind of a palette, you know. And Michael says the other two are from the American Graffiti and Open Range, yes. And oh wow! So I know you did this Suzanne Summers for American Graffiti. Is that another American Graffiti painting? That's the one I have, which I treasure. So thank you again for that. And oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better, Wendy. I don't like it when you're not feeling well. This is going to be darker, so I may come in, and I'm going to pretty much, you know, work with Wicked straight out of the bottle. You know, of course, diluting it with 4011, but I'm not going to be too much mixing today. I'm just doing a little fun experiment. And also, when you come in with the transparent, you can push things back, which is nice. And then we can come back in with our paintbrush, right? We can do that. So I have this, and we'll do some of the shadows here. Later in the painting, you don't have to worry about masking everything off. Everything is pretty much established, right? So I can put in some of the shadow patterns here. I can be a little more bold. And so what? It's a little on the brown side. I can do another layer, no problem. And Mike says, no, this is going to be 2 cars racing. Oh man, that's really nice. at the red light. Very cool. And Astral says you could do 2 mules for Sister Sarah. Oh, now was that with John Wayne? Very good. Sound quality's okay. I have a fan going. Is that causing any interference or anything? Now what I'm going to do is I put a whole lot of this in there. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put a little bit of the detail black, detail smoke, right? I know Mr. Dwayne loves that color as well. I think so. Let's see. Actually, let's do some black magenta. I'm enamored with this color, actually. It's so great that the fellows and ladies over at Createx decided to make such an incredible pigment, or a mixture of pigments. And so I'm going to put some 4011 in there. So I'm not really thinking like, okay, I'm in a live stream, you know, I'm gonna be teaching. No, this is just me painting and talking and hanging out with great people today. Mr. Ryan, all the way from Canada. How are you, sir? So good to see you. Clint Eastwood was in that movie for the Mules for Sister Sarah. Very cool. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. I appreciate you. So, how's everything going, man? I saw your artwork not too long ago, and it was incredible. Man, you're good, Ryan. You are good. And, all right, so, there we go. I'm going to keep a little bit of our detail sepia in there. We'll put that in. Actually, get rid of some of it. A little too much in there. All right, here we go. And I rarely do this, so mark your calendars. I'm actually going to mix in the cup. I rarely do that, but I'm in a mood today, right? Just in a mood. And we'll put this here. And I got my Viva paper towels. Oh, paper towels. Which ones do you use and why? And which ones do you hate? Love to hear that. I like the Viva. They're pretty cool. Hey, up and coming artists, first timer. The value's really low. Oh, okay. So let me see. You know what I can do? Let me try this. It might be different. I'm going to change my mic. Let's see. So we're going to go to, okay, you're going to not hear me for a while. Okay, so this is my Yeti microphone. How does this sound? Is this better, up and coming artists? And let me know. Let me know if this helps, because this is like a more professional microphone. Uh, Yeti. Testing 1, 2, 3. How is that? Better? Uh, oh, Dwayne says Scott disposable shop towels. Oh, I gotta look at that. So, how is it good? Okay, so, and up and coming artists, I know you're new, but what we do is we embrace everyone. So I tried to make the sound better for you. Is it better? Let me know. So is it a bit louder? What do you guys think? So this is the Pro mic. I just can't use, oh, Oh, great. So thanks, up and coming artist, for hanging out. I appreciate you. So can you tell me where you're from? I would love to hear where you're from. If you come back eventually, I'll know where you're from, and so that's one of my things. I always want to know that. Oh, look at that. Nick says he uses YPOL L30S. Are those the paper towels? I'd love to hear. Oh, Bobby says a lot better. Cool. The only thing is there is a delay, so I won't use this if I'm going to be showing my face, but that's not a big sacrifice, that's for sure. Oh, L30 paper towels. Great. Now, where can I get them, Nick? I want to try it. And tell me, so I love what Dwayne said, Scott Disposable Shop Towels. Where do you get them, sir? And also, Nick, where do you get the L30 or I30 paper towel? Amazon. Very cool, Nick. Nick, where are you from again? I think it's like Midwest. That's what I'm thinking, Midwest, if I'm wrong. So now we have this darker color. We're going to test it. Black magenta, detail black magenta. It's a really nice shadowy color. You know, oh, Minnesota, very cool. A lot of great people from Minnesota. I remember when I lived in Florida and I was taking Kempo karate, and there was a great cool guy. He was taking karate with his kids, and you know, just a really nice guy. He ended up moving back because of work. And Dwayne says he gets them at the auto parts stores like O'Reilly's. That's cool. So who was the guy? Was it you, Ryan? There was someone out there over the weekend where if you type in something into the search at O'Reilly's, it's a flux capacitor from Back to the Future. I thought that was hilarious. I'm not sure who that was, but that was great. Okay, so I'm coming in with the shadows. Wow, Mr. Michael, thank you for the super chat. My friend, I really appreciate you, sir. Thank you for your support and your friendship. It means so much to me, sir. And I'm always looking forward to your artwork and can't wait to see Farrah Fawcett. That's great. Oh, man. You're going to inspire me, but I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm going to wait till you're done, and then I'll do a different pose of Miss Fawcett, you know. So that is fantastic. I can't wait to see it. And Michael, thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you for your support. And thank you so much for sharing your artwork and your ideas and your comments. And this wouldn't work without great people like you, sir. I really appreciate you. And so, Mr. Michael McGlung from the Maryland area. So that is great. And do some confetti there. And I some confetti for Mr. Dave. Put some confetti for him. Thank you guys. Really appreciate yous. And not only that, up and coming, what's the best thing to... Oh, Bahamas. I missed that. Up and coming, welcome from the Bahamas. What a wonderful addition to have someone from that great part of the world. That is great. I must have missed it. Sometimes the messages go by fast, up and coming. Let's see. That is too cool. So I love it when we get people from all over the world. And so that's a great question, up and coming. What's the best thing, Dave says, to do in the Bahamas? Well, I can think of something, but this is a family channel. But I'm bumped, you know. But all kidding aside, I think it's really cool. And, you know, like, what do people from the Bahamas do? Because the tourists are doing all the touristy things, right? So right here, I'm just going to paint in between this here. Like I said, I'm not worried so much about perspective. It's a generalization of perspective. Michael says, put his toes in the sand. Yeah, that would be unbelievable to live in a place like that. Oh, Dave says that's Jamaica. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. And I haven't been to any of the islands, guys. Have you all been to the islands like Jamaica, Antigua, all that stuff? I never been. I had a sheltered life, um, so that's cool. And I always get my islands mixed up, Dave. So I don't know. Let's go ahead and darken this up. So it's nice. I like the idea of the black magenta. Even when I'm doing shadows, kind of has that nice kind of purpley magenta thing going, which is nice. And family show comment. Yes. Oh, that's funny. Yes. Oh, now I get it. So Jamaica is for that. Oh, very cool. I'm a little slow at the uptake sometimes, Mr. Dave. Does Alcatraz count? No, I don't think so. uh, oh, I'd love to sail a yacht. That's cool. And so that's very interesting. Yeah, I've been on a yacht. That was fun. That's really cool. Definitely would not want to live on a yacht, but like a day trip on a yacht is really amazing. See, I live right off of, like 4 miles from New York City, and they have like yacht trips all the time and dinner cruises, and that's always fun. Has anyone out there been on a cruise? That would be amazing. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, Roy's been to all of them. That he has. He's quite the globetrotter, which is very cool. A lot of stories, cool stories to tell. Oh, Michael says the only island he's been to is Long Island iced tea. Yeah, you can't have too many of those Long Island iced teas. Dwayne's been to most of them as well. Wow. Now, has that been with a cruise or just taking trips? That's very interesting. What's really cool, like, see this, like, kind of purpley sign? So if I go over this with the black magenta and a little bit of sepia, it doesn't change the color, it just deepens it, which is really nice. Because it's a transparent, it's not going to change, it's just going to alter it, which is really interesting. Up and coming artist says fishing, sailing, learning Bahamian history. Yeah, that sounds great. That is really cool. What's the fishing like? It must be amazing. Oh, look at that. Dwayne says he doesn't do cruises. And I could understand. Some people really, especially lately, cruises can be precarious. I haven't been on a cruise, but, like one of those, like, 6-day cruises. But I did watch The Love Boat a lot. Does that count? I'm gonna deepen. Oh, look at this. So here's something to kind of, when you explore and do tests here. I went ahead and just kind of put this black magenta, and it's deepening the values of the bench here, which I like. And it keeps a nice chroma, right? A nice chromatic value, which is nice. So that's great. And I can deepen the color here. And Up and Coming On says he looks forward to going on a cruise. Very cool. And Dwayne says he don't do the tourist stuff. Just get a ticket and go. That's really cool. Is that a factory color? Yes. This is definitely the black magenta. Let me see if I can show you. So here it is, the black magenta. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. And this is Wicked Detail, I believe. Wicked Detail Black Magenta. And it's a great color. It's a newer color. And I'm really enjoying it, Nick, definitely. And Dave says, kind of like Alcatraz doesn't count, neither does watching the Love Boat. Right along that line, right, Dave? You know, it's funny, my paintings, you know, when I entered into show. Oh, great. So Nick's going to be ordering that. It's really a great color. Also, there's another color that I think you would love, Nick. I don't know if you tried it. It's a new one. It's Detail Smoke. I'm sure you already know about it. You know, you're a seasoned artist. But that's a good one if you're ordering. And there's another favorite. Now, let's say you're doing oceans and water. You can't mix this color, this wicked opaque teal. But this right here, you're going to get vibrant colors. If you try to mix this, let me zoom out because you can't see. If you try to mix this wicked opaque teal, you won't be able to if you're doing oceans and stuff like that. So this is a really good get, the wicked opaque teal. Because otherwise, you know, if you try and mix a teal, it's just not going to work, you know? And so that's cool. Dwayne says he never used that color black. Oh, the Detail Smoke, huh? Or the black magenta. You're going to love the black magenta, definitely. I definitely see that in your future, sir. And here's another one I haven't tried. This is Detail Blue Violet, which is great. And I'm looking for Detail Smoke. Let's see. Well, here's Raw Umber, and I know Mr. Dwayne loves Raw Umber. Here we go. So these are two kind of faves here. We have Detail Smoke Black and also Detail Raw Umber. When I want to get darker, those are two good ones. But the Detail Smoke Black is really, really transparent. So if you want to just, you know, darken a shadow plane or something, it's really great. So really recommend that. And Nick says that's a cool color. Understandable, because you will only get as bright as the colors you are mixing. So true. So if you try to use, like, you know, green and blue, those are going to kind of, you know, cancel each other out a little bit. Oh, he mixes a lot of your own color blacks. Yeah, definitely. That's the way to do it as well. I just love paints, you know. So I'm going to darken this. And again, I'm still have a transparent color. So I may come in with and just show you guys how the Detail Smoke works. But right now I want to just continue deepening the chroma of these benches a little bit. And we're painting, we're having fun, so I'm not being so precious about it. You know, we can come in with paintbrush techniques later. So just deepening the colors. And Dwayne says Detail Smoke Black is a staple. Oh yes, definitely. I knew you would use that all the time, because that's definitely something that just saves time and is very effective, right, sir? And Nick says it's nice to just grab a bottle and have a color on tap, then always have to. Yeah, so true. And that's why I love the Detail, the Wicked Detail line. It's just, bam, you pick it up, you know, like the Detail Raw Umber or the Detail Smoke Black or the Sepia. You don't need to do anything to it, right? So that's great. So definitely right there with you. And having this detail, you know, black magenta, you know, we can go ahead and, you know, paint some of these areas and not worry about our colors being too dead, you know. If we just, you know, darken it without adding some life to it, like magenta or orange, a little bit of orange in there, our work's going to suffer. It's not going to have the life that we want it to have, right? And, and Nick says he mixes them with 40/50 so you can use them on cars. Very cool. Very, very cool. And Dan says he likes using smoke black for shading on black and white portraits. Oh man, that must be really great. Here's a good question for you, Dan. Do you feel that when you're working, is it on the warm side or the cool side, that detail smoke black? I love to hear your thoughts, you know? And so that's really cool. And Michael says he likes that teal color. I'm going to have to get a bottle. Yeah, you are going to love it. And oh yes, the Limelight. I do have that one. That one's a really nice. Almost, I like the Limelight because it's almost like your secondary green. It's a good go-to green. And let's see. So Dwayne says, exactly, Dan. I do a lot of black and white art. So great. And Mr. Up and Coming says, of the detailed dark black color, transparent will work on the top of a humble brown. So on a detailed black color is transparent, so it would work. I would test it first. Oh, like a raw umber, definitely. So what I would do is I would do a test, right? So I would do your color on a similar surface, like a scrap, and then test it out and see what kind of effect you're going to get. And this way you'll have an idea. So I really think that will work because the smoke black is very transparent, you know. And Up and Coming says, deep smoke black sounds very interesting color. It really is. And I'm going to use that in a few moments just to show you some of the really cool things that it does. And I think you're going to enjoy it. So what's interesting about the black magenta is I could use that to give some life to this overly chalky color that I was using here. The detail black magenta didn't darken it too much, but gave it some life. So that was good, right? And also kind of pushed it back a little bit. So it did a number of things, which is good. And then I'm going to use it up here. And I'm deciding I'm not going to be so precious about here. I'm just going to make the ceiling dark, and then I'll paint it using some of the wicked opaques, you know, and that would be good. So I'm just going to deepen this. It's time to really get a feeling of atmosphere with her. And let's see what else I missed here. Nick says, Dave, that's awesome, very cool. And Dave says, Nick, you had me at bottle and tap. Very cool. And let's see. Mr. Nick says, create text on tap would be cool. Oh, man. Imagine that. That's great. And Dwayne says, be careful over lighter colors. It's overpowers quick. Very good advice. Yes. So are you saying that the detail black will overpower? Great advice, sir. And don't forget and don't underestimate coming in with the regular paintbrush later. Just going to put some of the turn. As it turns away from the light, it gets a little darker on this edge here. We'll deepen the shadows here, right by her boots, right there. And let's see, right over here. When you're working on something like this, if I was just working on a head, you guys and girls would see like a lot of progress. But with something like this, there's a lot going on, so you know the progress is not going to be as evident. But think of it like an hour hand. You know, it's moving, but it's moving slowly. But you know, it's just Now right here I'm going to darken this because I want it to go back. So I'm going to gray date it from the light down to the dark over here. And that's going to give an illusion of it. And I'm going to do the same here with the detail magenta. See, as it goes further back, it gets darker ever so slightly. And I think that's pretty cool. And let's see who we have here. Dwayne says, be careful, I got that one. Up and Coming says, thank you for the tip on the use of the two colors. Oh yeah, Dwayne is a really great great source of information. Definitely when it comes to Wicked, unbelievable. Everyone here has so much information up and coming, and I'm sure we can learn a lot from you as well. So I'm so glad you're here. I hope you get a chance to have time to come. We're always welcoming new peeps here, you know? I mean, that's what it's all about. It's all about hanging out and having fun. No agenda. Okay, so I deepened that, and so I'm going to empty this, and then we're going to do a little demonstration of the detail smoke black for you guys. And let me dump this out. Colors are really close. I don't have to do like a deep cleaning. Astral says, have you got both airbrushes back in action? I do. I kind of jimmy rigged it, so I have them working, so that's good. And I was able to get the parts from my friends at Badger. So yes, 2 airbrushes. So guys, just a quick thing. If you're interested, just to let you know, I have 2 Extreme Patriot arrows that are ready to go. If anyone is looking for an airbrush that I actually will test for at least an hour before I send it out. So let me know. It's available. And one thing, if anyone wanted it tonight, I'd take $30 off. So that is just for tonight and just for you seeing it. If anyone wants one for $149, that's pre-pandemic prices. Astral says, have you got both airbrushes? Oh yeah, that's it. And then Michael says, yeah, sometimes you just use very little on a paintbrush to mix it in with the color. Yeah, definitely. That's what Mr. Leahy does, right? He does that, so that's cool. Thanks. Mr. Dave says that the Extreme Patriot arrows are awesome if you don't have one. Mr. Dave so graciously bought 2 of them, and I'm so glad that you like them, sir, and thank you so much for purchasing them. So now, I usually don't just put it in the airbrush. I like putting them in the cups and then, you know, being in control of the mixture. So here's our Detail Smoke Black. And I think this bottle is open. Yes. Okay, we're going to shake it really well. The guys at Wicked say, or Createx say, to give it a good shake for like 45 seconds to a minute. And Mr. Dwayne says, I also use transparent base to make it even more transparent, to build it up slower. That's really cool. So you're making it even more transparent than it is. That's great info. Okay, we need another cup. Oh, I bought, so here's something. It's a great deal, guys. I wanted to share this with you. I always share. So this is a 500 count of cups, and you can get them at Amazon. And let's see, Stay Connect. Stock Your Home is the brand. 1 ounce plastic shot glasses. I go through these because I'm working on a color theory method, so I go through a lot. But you'd be surprised, 500, and by the time autumn comes around, you'll be looking for more. So definitely don't get the 100. It's just too little. Make sure you get the 500. I think it was like $17.99. So I hope that helps if anyone's looking for that. And Let's see. Oh, Dave says he already has 2, otherwise he would jump. Thank you, sir. Very cool. You guys are great. And now let's get a cup. See, I get sidetracked. All right, so I have some cups, shot glasses, 1 ounce, and let's put some in. Now I'm going to do a 1-to-1, maybe 1.5 to 1, right? Let me focus this once again. We'll zoom in. Let's see. Okay, so we'll go ahead and mix this. Maybe 1.5 to 1. And then I'm going to put some of the 4050 UVLS clear. And it gives it a little more body and adherence, right? Especially if you're working on automotive or something like that. If you're working on a hard surface, you're going to need to add some 4050. And so cool. And let's see. And Dave says he has a tendency to lay it on too quick, and he will try using a transparent base. Yes, that's 4050, guys. And Astral says he has a Vortex now, and his arms used to ache with all. Oh yeah, I seen the Vortex in action. That was just amazing, wasn't it? And Dwayne says it will make it easier to sneak up on the shade you want. Oh, look, listen to that. So portraits would be really fantastic, huh? So you see if you don't mix it thoroughly, you're gonna have some issues. So the people over at Createx, they say that, you know, to leave it like, you know, a good 10 minutes and then it really sets. But I don't have time for that, but that's great advice. And the 4050. So I'm just going to mix this really well. Oh, wait 10 minutes. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so you heard that too, Nick, right? And Dwayne says not 4050. Don't use 4050. Use transparent wicked base. Okay, great. Great advice. So you like that better than the 4050? For, you know, extending? That's great. Great advice, sir. I think I have some wicked transparent base out here. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to use just a little bit more 4050. I just like it a little bit thinner. Remember, I use the Airbrush India ink, so, you know, did teach me some good things about viscosity and going through the airbrush. And look at it, you see it has a very inky quality, right? Rather than pigment, it feels like dye. And 4004. Oh, wow. That's great. Let me get a swig of water, guys. Okay. Now I got my airbrush clean. We're going to go ahead and put this in. All right. Now, let's bring her back, this young lady. And we're going to continue with our detail smoke black. And I think it would be good to maybe zoom in. I'm going to work on her bag there. So they got some nice things. We can do some transparent shadows, right? So let's see how that goes, everybody. And of course, every time you start, I always want you to have your spare piece of paper and make sure that it's operational. Very transparent. Very, very transparent. And Michael says, yeah, Astral, the Vortex works good. Great advice, guys. That is fantastic. Really great stuff here tonight. I'm learning lots. Okay, so you see I'm coming right here. So, for the dads out there, happy Father's Day. You guys are amazing. And I know, Dave, you have little ones. Happy Father's Day. And I don't know, I know Mr. Mike McGlung is a dad, and Astral's a dad. Dwayne, you're a dad, right? And let's see, make sure. Happy Father's Day to all you guys. And Nick, are you a dad? And let's see who else. Up and coming artists. Are you guys all dads? And so that's cool. So if you're a dad out there, I just want to say Happy Father's Day. A dad is a great job. Very important job, you know. Oh, look at that. Dwayne, you're too young to be a granddad. That's impossible. That's cool. Listen to that, granddad. Oh yeah, Bobby. Bobby has two great kids. Happy Father's Day, sir. You know? And oh yes, and Mr. Dave, of course. And Nick says he's not, sadly. Nick, I just want to say I'm sorry. My prayers go out to you. This spring I lost my mom and my brother. So I know the pain you're going through, sir. Just want to say sorry for that. There's no other words you can say to help, but just say I'm sorry and I'm praying for, the pain to go away. Not to go away, but be more bearable, So I lost my dad in 95 and it feels like yesterday. Yeah, it's such an important job, And notice how I'm just with this smoke black. It's not changing the color. It's just pushing it back so I can come later. And so it kind of brings everything together, which is really nice. You can deepen the shadows. You can assimilate the lights into the midtones. And thanks. See, what a great group, And thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Thank you for that, sir. Yeah, it's been a rough spring, but we just have to keep going, That's what our loved ones would want us to do. And here, and I'm gonna move up here, and we can see, like right here, the leather jacket. The colors are, the values are too far away from each other. So you kind of compress those values, and that's kind of like almost like a smudge tool. Think of it that way too. Like if you want to, the value changes, it's too light, you can pretty much just calm it down, which is great. Very cool, Nick. Very cool. And oh, so your dad was sick for a while. Yes. And that's rough. That's really rough. Pam, how are you? From West Virginia, am I correct? No, Virginia. Yes, so Pam, you're from Virginia. How you been? It's so cool to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. How's life been for you? That is so great. And Color Graphics Roy says dads are great, even better when they leave home. And Roy says hi, Pam. So that's cool. And oh, you had to get a night job. Okay, that's cool. You do what you have to do, right? And so today you have a day off, I hope. And I'm going to use it now to get the transition tone. Because right now you have the dark and the light, and it's a little too strong. And notice you could use this detail smoke black. And you know what's really great? It just flows through the airbrush. Really nice. It reminds me of my Airbrush India inks, which I haven't made my new batch yet. But that's on it's on the to-do list. Just been, making paintings to sell. And my students, I have an online mentorship program, which is cool. Oh, you work the weekend, so you have off today. That's cool. Oh, listen to that. Mr. Dave lived in Virginia. Was that by Virginia Beach, Dave? I drove through Virginia several times because I used to live in Florida. And I would, of course, go down I-95. And so it's really doing good with her leather jacket, you know, just kind of calming things down. So that's good. Oh, cool. So Dave's hoping to get back to Virginia in the next few years. Wow. Now back to live or just to go on vacation? Richmond. Richmond Spiders, right? The Richmond University Spiders. I know them because they're a relatively small team and a small college, and they made it uh, to the tournament, March Madness. The Richmond Spiders. And San Luis Obispo Mustangs. Oh, isn't that the Kentucky side? Very cool. So what kind of, so let's say, here's a question for you, Pam. If you're on the Kentucky side, if you were going to drive to Cincinnati, how long would it take you? Yes, the Spiders. Very cool. And I'm just going to calm down the leather jacket. We can always come back in with white. But what like let's say you're working on a painting and your lights and darks are a little too strong and you want to calm it down, then the smoke black really works well for that. And you see, as you do this, you do several layers and you go back and forth. I might come in with the darks, and you know, it really helps to create, you know, a painting that is more unified as opposed to being cartoonish and the values being too far from each other. So it really kind of calms things down. 5 hours, not bad. Do you go to Cincy too often? I mean, I want to check out the city. I know Mr. Leahy talks about it often. It makes it sound interesting. And Dave, I've been to Cincinnati only through YouTube, so that doesn't count, right, sir? So as you can see, this detail smoke black is really cool. Now watch here as the sleeve here, right? See how it's turning away from the light? And right here is where I would like to add shadow. And look what the detail smoke black does, everybody. See how I can create a shadow without having to paint the whole thing over? It's just transparent. So if you don't have smoke black, I highly recommend it. If you're a Wicked user, it's really great. Plus, you can use the detail smoke black with, if you're an illustration user, it's no problem. You can mix and match, which is great. And so Dave says he rode the Blue Ridge Parkway almost every weekend before he had kids. Spent time in Roanoke. Wow, that's cool. And so the Blue Ridge Parkway, is that like very scenic? And so tell me about that. That sounds interesting. This summer I should get away. I might end up going to Florida. I have family there in the Orlando area. That's where I lived for quite a while. I haven't been there since the 90s, but they tell me that it is totally changed, Tim. And oh, so Dave says that's right. Very cool. Very cool. Now I think you might be saying, as far as the YouTube, you know, that I seen Virginia through YouTube. That doesn't count as being there. And and also I'm gonna do something a little bit out there, but Mr. Gregory said that this works, and I agree. And I'm just going to use a detail smoke black to kind of intensify a little bit the shadows underneath her chin. Now I'm not changing the color, I'm just intensifying. Now the black magenta would add some life to it, but the smoke black will just basically just slightly darken it, but don't change anything, which is great, you know. So, you know, the black magenta has great uses, and so does the detail smoke black. So highly recommend them a lot. So right here, when I went in with the flesh color last week, I'm just going to kind of deepen that a little bit, because a little bit of blue shift, but who cares about blue shift with hair? You can always go over it, no problem whatsoever. And so Pam says she loves it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Pam. Yeah, this painting is, it's just more of a fine art piece, you know. Not worried about, you don't have to worry about likeness, and you know, you're just enjoying it. I got the idea from I think it's Sir Thomas Lawrence, not Sir Thomas Lawrence, 19th century English painter. He's an academic painter. It's called Flaming June, which is really amazing. I love it. So this is like a modern urban setting of Flaming June, you know. So that's the thought process of it. So more of an idea I have. I may make this into a large oil painting after I'm done, you know. Redo it as a 30 by 40 oil painting. But I have to have time, because being a full-time artist, you know, you have to create work that will sell. And so doing something large is quite an investment in time. But I may have it on my easel to do it in my spare time, you know, on my days off. That's an idea. So, and look, I'm going to be using, and look at the detail that you can get with the detail smoke black. See how I can darken that eyebrow, just like working in the Airbrush India inks. Now you got to be careful of spidering, of course, right? So that was a lot of fun. And let's see. Oh, Dave says the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's a national scenic byway. Runs along the Blue Ridge Mountains through Virginia into North Carolina. Great in the fall with the color change. Lots of curves. That sounds amazing. And Michael says, one thing he noticed about this painting, Tim, is that she's sleeping through the whole thing. Yes. And she's sleeping through the whole painting. Yes, she is. You know? That's not to say in my life that women haven't pretended to sleep during time with me, you know? So that has happened as well. She could be pretending to sleep. And Astral said he started using my idea of stencils, but his acetate seems to be quite hard to cut through. Do you have... I'm going to show you exactly what I use. I do have it right here, so that's great. Great question, sir. I just bought another 100 sheets. So I'm going to zoom out. So this is, it's transparency film, 100 sheets for laser printers. The company is called Samsill, S-A-M-S-I-L-L. And you can get it through, you definitely can get it through Amazon. And it's 100 sheets. And the size is 8.5 by 11, so you don't have to cut it. And I believe it's 3 mil. It doesn't say. But yeah, it's 3 mil. And, but it's perfect. If you have a Cricut or a Cricut or a Cameo 4, it will work really well. And I do have some that I cut Speaking of Wonder Woman, look how beautiful. I have an example of a cut that I did. It actually did laser cut quality. Look at this. Let me see if I can put it against something dark. Can you see? Maybe a dark piece of paper. I'll be right back just to show you. Here's a nice dark piece of paper, and you can see how it cuts, and I'll even zoom in to show the quality that you can get with this. I'll kind of focus it. See how you can get all that really nice detail. I hope that shows up. Maybe I can lighten this a little bit. There we go. See how you get really great quality. So I hope that helps. And I love it. So I think you need something like a Dremel. Because if it's too thick, it's not going to work, right? That's the thing. Dave says Tim is transparent. Exactly. It's invisible. That's so funny. And let's see. So Dave is still laughing at Michael's remark of the woman pretending to be sleeping. And very cool. And Pam says, too aloof for us, Tim. That's funny. Yes, I am, I think. Too aloof. And that's cool. Astral says, that's a lot thinner than the stuff I bought. Yes. So, Astral, are we Facebook friends? Because I could always IM you the link from Amazon if you'd like. I'd be happy to. But Samsill, Samsill, and that's it, Okay, so we're back to our woman pretending to be sleeping. And let's see. Now what I do is sometimes if I can't get the focus, I just bring it into autofocus, right? And it autofocuses. And then I go back into manual focus. And then I zoom in. And that's pretty much how I do it. This is becoming its own little project. Sometimes when you work on a painting, it kind of has its own life, right? Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. That's the best I'm going to do. So I'm always a tester, right? I'm always testing before. So I'll just take this and I'll just test what kind of detail. And also helps with the aim, right? And it's funny, some live streams I'm just all about the wet palette and working with that. And some live streams it's just all about the airbrush. So, okay, so here goes. I have my reference here. Always have your reference. And remember my 1 second rule. I hope that helps. If you want to paint for a second, first you have to look for a second. And any ratio like that. See how I just darken that just a tad? And it is a little dark, but I can always come back in. I have a little bit of a blue shift here. Like we don't care about blue shift with hair, we can always fix that. And I'm even going to come in to her eyelashes. So this, look how small this is. If I can really give an example on how tiny this painting is. Let's see. Just, this painting is super small. So this is my fingernail. So look how small I was able to get the detail with the detail mixture, with the detail smoked black. So I hope that helps. And let's see, Mr. Steve Leahy. How's it going, my friend? So great to see you. How's everything over there in the Massachusetts area? And Astral says, not on Facebook. I try to keep my social life normal. I understand. And Astral says, I did get the same thing off of Amazon. Very cool. Very, very cool. And Dave says, Tim, this has been a great live stream, informative and humorous. Great. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your generous support and all the great comments. And I don't know, the live streams aren't the same without you, Mr. Dave. So thank you for that. And it's all about enjoying ourselves and having fun, talking about art. Isn't it funny, like during the day-to-day, you don't get to talk about art sometimes, And when we do get to talk, it's like, oh my God, I get to talk about painting, It's we really relish it, right? Gonna darken a little bit more this shadow plane here, and hopefully that helps. And so cool. And let's see here, we're going to zoom out. Now, over here, it's light, but I kind of want to anchor, right? I don't want this light here because it's not going to anchor. So I'm going to be using the Detail Smoke Black to kind of darken this because I want it to be a value anchor. I want her to feel like she's against that wall. And if I have that light purple, this is the oil painting me coming out, it's not going to work. So you do have, all kinds of artistic license to make better compositions. Looking at great paintings, Sir Thomas Lawrence, Jules Joseph Lafay, 19th century French academic painters. They're going to teach you how to create a painting, And I think that's lost a lot in our modern day. We know how to paint things, but to create a painting, we're not so good at. And, okay, folks, he's going to start watching it on the big tube for now. You all have a wonderful night and the rest of the week. Mike, thank you so much. I can't wait. Thank you for your super chat, my friend. And I'm looking forward to seeing... I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with Farah. If you have any questions, anything I can ever help, you let me know, okay? It'd be my honor. And let's see. Up and Coming says he's interested. I'm interested in a quiet, silent air compressor. And he'd love to be around people who have knowledge about art. Yes, and it's great to have you, Up and Coming, my friend from the Bahamas. So great. And... let's see. So we have, what else did I miss? Astral says he watched a YouTube of Gerald Mendez doing a tour of his video, and he had one of a Walk Up Liberty you did for him on his walls. Oh, very cool. See that? Your reputation precedes you, or something like that. Very cool. That's great to see. And, there's a new thing. There's a free shipping order that just came out from USAairbrushsupply.com. And it says here, listen to this, guys. With this coupon code, you get free shipping anywhere in the world on any product or order $100 or more. So for the UK guys, that sounds really interesting. Right, I'm going to put this down in the comments, what the code is. Free airbrush with any order of $150 or more. What is the code? Before completing the checkout, free shipping. Click anywhere on the map. Bonus offer. I would go on USAairbrushsupply.com. And if you want to get parts or anything, that's a really good thing. So look into that, guys. I just a little bit of information for you. And let's see. And Up and Coming says, any suggestion to the silent air compressor? what type of artwork are you doing up and coming? Are you going to be doing cars, or are you going to be doing small paintings like me? Because that makes a big difference, you know? And Dave has a California Air Tools 2-gallon, and that's quite enough for him. Yeah, so you don't have to get with the Silent Air, as Mr. Dave says. So that's good advice too. And Dwayne says brand or just a silent compressor, because they may have other brands that make silent compressors, so that's good. Great advice. Gonna have some more water. Yes, quiet is definitely a relative term, and but yeah, I mean, I had a California Air Tools. The one thing, if you're a power user, I think the California Air Tools get louder and louder over time. So that's the one caveat. I mean, I use my compressor probably 6 hours a day, and you know, it really kills them. But they're really quiet right out of the box. If you're a casual user, you're gonna love the California Air Tools. They're really great. So that's really good advice, sir. So we're going to continue this here. So you see how I anchored her here. And let's see. Yeah, so when you're working, you know, on a kind of complex painting like this with a background and everything and perspective, it goes a little slower. Astral says that his compressor is silent, but ears won't stop ringing. That's bad. Yes. Dwayne says he has a Silent Air and a California Air. Both work, but Cali Air is definitely louder. And so Dave says he can agree on that. Up and coming artist says both, I guess, Dwayne, but I guess silent. And Steve says he loves the Silent Air compressor. Expensive and worth it. Yes, because once you buy the Silent Air, it's going to last you a long time. So, but you're looking at least $1,000 if you get a good deal. Just before the pandemic, I got a Silent Air, the 50. And it's a 1-gallon, but I use a very low PSI. So if you're a low PSI guy like myself, you know, you can get away with a 1-gallon. But if you're doing cars and stuff, the 1-gallon is not going to be good for you, I don't believe. And, oh, small painting. So a 1-gallon should be fine. It's fine for me. And so I'm going to give some of the pros and cons of getting the Silent Air. If you're like me, you know, your living situation could change, you know. And let's say if you move to an apartment, your Silent Air is going to allow you to paint still without, you know, disturbing the peace. So that's a plus. And the Silent Air was just on sale for around $650. Oh my God, that's a steal. I got an 800 and I thought I was really hitting the jackpot. That's amazing. And so Dave says thumbs up to that. Astral says still has his 3-liter rote ring from 1994. Wow, look at that. And you could use CO2, that's true. How long would like a large CO2 canister cost? How long would that last you, Nick? So that's great info too. And Mr. Dave says he had a lot of condensation when he drained the tank to move to Texas. Yeah, a lot of red iron oxide, right, comes out. How much came out? I know, you know, I definitely am due to do that for my Silent Air, because my California Air Tools, that's like my backup compressor. That's in storage right now. I think I have a 6-gallon. So they're very inexpensive, and they're They're good if you live in a house. If you're in an apartment, I think the California Air tools, I would definitely give a thumbs down because they will get louder in time. If you're a power tools, if you're a power user like me, you're gonna you're gonna get about 2 years out of it, and then it's gonna be too loud. Mr. Bobby said he bought an ultra quiet 2.5 from Harbor Freight 5 years ago, and still just as quiet as day one. He paid $149 for his. Oh, that's great. Use it for power tools and everything. And oh, 2 to 3 cups. That's not too bad, but that's a lot though. Yeah. Compressors are a little bit scary, you know, to have in your house. But we're airbrush artists. We don't have a choice. Just bringing this dark down here. Creating a sense of space. And you can see that the Detail Smoke Black has a little better coverage when you do several layers than the Black Magenta. But it doesn't have the color, so it kind of dulls things down. So that's some of the main takeaways I see from that. So I'm darkening this ceiling here. And oh, it was in its garage. Yeah, that's perfect. California Air Tools in the garage is absolutely perfect. If you can put it in the basement and it doesn't disturb those who are watching TV, that's perfect too. But garage is the best place. Now this ceiling is a bit darker, so I'm going to darken up this ceiling. So you can see it's like painting in with the detail mixture of my Airbrush India inks. Fully transparent, mind you. And you still get tip dry, a lot less, but you still get tip dry. And I just use my fingernails. You don't even have to, I don't have long fingernails. So you see that, but you just kind of get in there. So that works really well. And, oh, you will look, oh, so Mr. Dave is going to look at a Silent Air now that you're confined to an RV. Definitely. Now, Dwayne, where was that $600 Silent Air? Because that's great. That's a great idea. Oh, look at this. Nick has a vented soundproof room. Nice. See, you know, us airbrush artists, when we hear about that, you know, silent compressors and, you know, rooms that are quiet and everything. Mr. Brad, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you. All the way from Manitoba, Canada. So, Brad, we have Pam here today. We have Nick. And we have up-and-coming artists. So, and Pam's been, you know Pam. She's been a while since she's been back, and you know Nick. And so, yeah, so we got some people coming back, which is great. And we have up-and-coming who's brand new. So that's great. So we're talking about compressors and how do you get around the silent compressor. Are they needed? I know you own your own home, Brad. And Brad's another gentleman. He has his compressor downstairs. And I think Bobby has it downstairs as well, right? So then you just kind of have the hose coming up to the studio, which is cool. And Dwayne says, at Silent Air. Okay, great. It was back in March and April. Picked a new one up. Oh, wow. That's great. And sold the old one. Very smart. That is a great idea. When you see it on sale, pick up a new one and sell the old one. That's great. I have to do maintenance and change the oil on my compressor. I've been kind of procrastinating that, you know. There we go. So it's kind of, you know, it's going to be more solid in the future, but right now it's kind of wispy. And I don't mind overspray here. It's cool. Create a little stronger in the doors here. So, Steve, I was wishing Happy Father's Day to the dads out there. Happy Father's Day, sir. I think it's great. There we go. I'm gonna add some depth here to the shadows here. Like you said, like I say, you want her to be heavy, right? You want her to be solid, so you have to create that. And so that's cool. So Bobby says yes, and Brad says his is also in the basement. Ran a 1/4-inch pipe to the upstairs and a switch so he can turn it on and off from his art room, his studio. So great. Great ideas, man. Lots of great ideas from you guys and girls out there. That's why I love Wednesday nights. I learn so much. There we go. And just, it's starting to come together. Slow, but it's starting to come together. And just moving around, creating a sense of light as it's moving through the subway car. I'm going to put some, make it darker as it goes further down this white column here. And it looks like in the photo that I made it too wet, but it really isn't. It's just the shine. Okay, so maybe we can start working on her. She has like a gray, a very beautiful gray cotton dress on. So we're going to see if we can go ahead and zoom in here. So yes, so this is my plan. I'm going to do this fully realized in as a color airbrush painting, and then I'm going to do a separate painting, like a 30 by 40 oil painting, and I'll exhibit them together, hopefully. Well, I will. Let's see. Not hopefully. I have a lot of exhibition opportunities here in New York and New Jersey. I just haven't been doing it much. You know, the pandemic kind of stopped it. And so now I'm getting back into it. I should have an exhibition in mid-July, one in August, and several in September. I really don't like exhibiting. You know, I'm not really into all of that. I mean, it's part of business, right? That's what we have to do. It's just part of business. Right here, I could use this and kind of separate this by making this dark here. Again, it's all about creating those anchors, right? Those anchor points. Now, since I have the great detail, and I'm going to make sure that I go ahead and get rid of tip dry before I go in with detail. And let's see. So Brad says, sorry be late. Sean was here again. We were putting some finishing touches on the box. Very cool. No, I'm glad you're here. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter if you're late as long as you're here. And if you can't make it, you're here in spirit. So I'm so glad to see you, Mr. Brad, as always. Thanks for your support and friendship. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me, with us. And now you see how I'm just going to kind of get every chance I get to kind of develop her dress. Now right here, I think I'm going to try some paintbrush technique here. So I do have my detail smoke. Now, it's very transparent. Doesn't mean I can't try it. The worst that can happen is we say, well, that didn't work. And so tomorrow's Thursday, I want to go to Hobby Lobby. And I want to get some stuff for sublimation. Alright, so now we're going to take some of this Detail Smoke Black. And I like doing a dry brush technique, right? So I'll take this and just get rid of some excess water. Like so. And these are Hobby Lobby specials, $5.99. You get a pack of 10. Is it 10? Yeah. And they're great. So I use them for both oil painting. So this right here is the Royal & Langnickel $5.99. You get a full set. I used to use the Cotman by Winsor & Newton, but I like these better because if you damage them, so be it. So it's like a sandwich, right? If it lasts you 2 months, that's a really good sandwich. So that's how I look at it. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see, I'm going to do I'm going to make that, you want to make that dress heavy. You don't want it to be like just sort of floating on there. You want it to create a little tiny cast shadow. See that? It works. Now let's see what I've been missing. So Brad says, okay. Brad says you guys should see the work that his 15-year-old student is doing. Fantastic. Astral says the sun is rising over here in the UK. Oh my God, serious? Thank you so much for hanging out here during that time. And Dave says, looks like the Silent Air is based out of Houston. Maybe you will visit them and try to get a discount with his charm. Yes, definitely. And probably get charged more. Oh man, that's funny. Yes, I think I bought them from the Houston place. Yes, so that's where I got it. And it was on sale at the time. But I paid like $7.90. I thought that was a great deal. But from what Mr. Dwayne says, that's even better. Yeah, definitely. Someone who's owned a lot of California Air Tools, I think they're great. But if you can afford a Silent Air, definitely, especially if your living arrangements could change to, more of a cramped area. So now it's great. I have the Detail Smoke Black and a paintbrush, so I can do some really cool things. I can get linear, right? So let's say I'm going to be working on her hand, right? I want to get the negative space in her hand. So now I could get a little bit linear here, which is great. There we go. And we can really start to see that. And Astral says, it's okay, Tim, chatting with his son in Japan at the same time. He wants him over there to work on his home. I better find a canoe and start paddling. Wow. So that's great. You get to talk to your son over in Japan. That's fantastic. I'm so glad you get to do that, sir. And so how is he doing? So he has a new place and he's doing some renovations, right? And I know that Mr. Leahy is actually doing a painting of Tokyo right now. So that's cool. See how everything kind of comes together? Really great. Just hitting some of these. So I'm going to do the other finger. And you can see when I blow it up, it looks really rough. But it doesn't look that rough when you're looking at the actual painting. But I'm going to define this with this Detail Smoke Black. Define her hand a little better. Okay, let's see. Rowboat is better for that journey. And Mr. Dwayne says, is California Air is used for mobile work. Silent Air is for the shop. Yes, that's very cool. So what I find this day and age, you know, which we should look at as airbrush artists, that there really isn't a lot of airbrush schooling going on in person. So if we can, you know, maybe tap into that market, we could, you know, augment or add to our income, right? So that's something to think about for all of us, me too, because, you know, there's just nowhere to learn airbrush, you know, the finer details of airbrush, you know, when you get really, really down into, you know, mid to advanced stuff. And even just beginning, you know, beginning airbrush is very important too. Not everyone likes to learn online. Some people like the hands-on. So that's a definite market we should all try and do. And Astral says he could climb on board a container ship with his fishing rod. Oh man, I think the sun would be really rough on you. That's for sure. Oh my God. Yeah, that is. So I was able to define her hand a little bit, and so there's a lot of things you can do with the Detail Smoke Black. And let's go and see if I can define her contour of her face. Let's see. And notice that, you know, I'm not just dipping in the brush into the Detail Smoke Black and then just going in. I'm getting rid of the excess moisture first. So you see how I'm kind of really getting that hard edge. And leaving the soft edge where the soft edge is. And you got to be careful of getting too wet, because then it could bleed into where you don't want it to. And that's no fun. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It just means you have to do some cleaning up. That's all. And right over here, we can come in and kind of get some better shape here. Okay, so we'll zoom out. And not bad. Now, maybe I could shape her nostril a little bit. Let's see. It is a little nondescript here. And I think I have to go a little bit wetter. There we go. Just kind of shape this a little bit better. I may glaze over it with some lighter. Now what I can do, since I have the Detail Smoke Black in my airbrush, and now we could, you know, really get some subtle shading in. We're going to go right here with her eye. See how I just, you know, got the eye a little bit? And then right under her eyelash there. There we go. And it's not so rosy, you know, we're not rosy everywhere. And we do have an opportunity right here along her nose. And this is so transparent that it's not going to drastically change the color. So right here, I'm just going to put this here. See how I was able to get a little definition on her nostril there? There we go. Just the tiniest little definition. Okay, and then we have a shadow underneath her earlobe. It's very light, but we can definitely hit that. Let's see. There we go. See, I just put a little shadow there. And then here it's a lot lighter. We're going to come in with that. So let's see what we got so far. Okay, so, you know, little by little, I'm going to come in and maybe work on this pole here. Let's see. So let's say what we got here. That's the issue he has. There is nothing in your area. Yes, that's true. So that does happen. Now, this is something, those of you who paint in oils and airbrush, you know, you have different mediums. Always keep your your oil painting brushes away from your airbrush brushes, because oil and water do not mix. I went down that road and it wasn't fun. And oh, look at Astral says it's looking good. Thank you, my friend. And Dwayne says he learned before there was even VCRs, all trial and error and some magazine articles. Yeah, that's old school, right? That is so cool, Mr. Dwayne, that you're able to do that. Holy cow. Okay, I'm going to have this detail smoke black. Now, it's very transparent, so I can get away with this. You can get away with this. And we can always glaze in color later. I can't get that close. That's about as close of a zoom I can get. So let's experiment. Let's go and do this together. So right here, under the helix, and then we have the anti-helix right here, and then La Concha, which is this area right here, is in shadow. So you see how you can use this with airbrush and paintbrush to darken it. So, I mean, a lot of the live stream was about the different Wicked paints to use. So yeah, see how that's pretty successful. I'm going to come in with some of the Wicked opaque colors. I know I said we were going to try and do them today, but we don't have time. But next week I may break out the Wicked opaques for you guys to see. Let's see what we have. Oh, very cool. So Mr. Dave says, trial and error for some Ed Hubs YouTube videos. Listen to that. So you too as well. You as well as Dwayne. A lot of YouTube videos. And Ed Hubs is great, isn't he? I used to love Ed Hubs like around 2009, 2010. He was the go-to guy, right? And also, you know, how about those magazines with Drew Blair? How inspiring is that, right? And Nick says, like water-based and solvent-based paint guns. Yes. So, Nick, that could really cause a big problem if you forget which ones, right? Oh, man. And Dwayne says, nice, Dave. And Dave says, then he shells some clams for time with Drew. Oh, wow. That is so great. So you studied at Drew Blair's. How was that? Mr. Dwayne, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I am so thankful for you hanging out and dropping knowledge on us. That is so fantastic. And, you know, this is a lot of information that you share with us. And I just want to say thank you for hanging out. Thank you for your comments. And thank you so much for your support, man. That is great. Oh yes, look at that. So we can start doing some of the let's do some emojis for Mr. Dwayne there. Thank you, sir. That is so cool. I appreciate that so much. And so that is great. Some confetti. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for everyone who has super chatted today. I mean, that adds up, man. That pays. You know, you guys with the super chat really helps out. You know, it pays for the internet, pays for, you know, a lot of life expenses. This is all I do, you know, as far as, you know, making a living. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, you guys. And Nick says he just experimented with Createx and solvent-based layering with different effects. So Nick, what happened when you did that? So Createx and solvent base layering, how did that go? Now when I'm working in oils, and maybe it's the same with you, you always have to do oil on top because the acrylic won't adhere to the oil. So oil will go on on acrylic, but not the other way around. Do you find the same thing? Oh, look at that. Astral just gave some awards to Mr. Gregory. That's great. And so that's cool. Uh, I think it's just you being a great guy, Dave. That's what that's about. Um, and I could go ahead and darken her beautiful eyebrow here. So when I paint, I always have my wet palette with me. I always have my brushes. And I always have, you know, a good, you know, this is like Chinese soup takeout. And I just keep it in water and I have my little pipette. And this way I can wash my brushes. Especially if you're painting with any Createx or any acrylic, you want to make sure that you have this ready, otherwise your paintbrush is going to go bye-byes and you don't want that. Oh, it's about flash times. It's about, oh, I see, flash times. Very cool. Very interesting, Nick. That's great. So yeah, I would love to hear more about the experiments. And so, oh, Astral says wrong clap. You guys are hilarious. And once again, thank you guys. Happy Father's Day. You know, you guys are... Happy Father's Day, Mr. Steve. I know you have beautiful kids, grown-up kids. And so I want to wish you a happy Father's Day, Mr. Steve. And also Mr. Brad Mummery. Happy Father's Day, who just came on. And oh, so Dave says beer in Advil PM is the secret. Like a box of chocolates, you never know when you're gonna get. You guys are great. That's funny. Oh, there's some more cups. And Brad says, looking great, sir. Thanks for another live stream. Thanks, Brad. I'm glad you made it. So cool. And Brad has a one artist show going on in Neepawa, Manitoba right now, which is so amazing. He did a talk and everything. So definitely 3 cheers for you, sir. And take care. And his show is up all month, so that's exciting. Very exciting. And so we're at 11:29. I'm going to always give you guys up to 1:30. And it looks like nothing much happened, but that's how we just chip away, right? That's it, you know. And Mr. Dave says that's better. Dwayne's the hero. Dwayne is a hero. You guys are all heroes. And Nick says, wait an hour. You can put solvent over water base. Listen to that. Water base over solvent. Of course, you can use 2K clear over Createx, but you have to sand it before you apply any more paint. That is some great information. So, Nick, you sound like you do a lot of custom work, right? Which I want to get into one day. So that would be cool. Let's put in some hairs here. So let me just show you what I did here. So see, I was able to put some straggler hairs here. We'll see how it stays after it dries. But right now it looks really good. And we can put some hairlines in here, which is cool. When you're doing hairlines, always make sure they're not equidistant or the same size. And this way they'll look more natural. So if you see they're, you know, make sure some are close, some are further away, and that's going to make them more alive, right? Bobby says, thanks, Tim, for a great live stream. I'll be ready for tomorrow night. Yes, me and Mr. Bobby will be doing a class. We'll be painting Mr. David Bowie, so that's fantastic. Nick says he does lowrider roof metal. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, man. Thank you so much for dropping that knowledge with us. Air Todd says, sorry, got a call. Hope all is had a good night. Take care, Todd. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the super chats. You are all amazing. Happy Father's Day. Thank you, Mr. Dwayne, for your super chat. Thank you, Mr. Michael McClung, for your super chat. And thank you, Mr. Dave the Bug Gregory. I appreciate you guys. If I missed a super chat, I do apologize. But I just want to say thank you, everybody. You guys are just amazing. And I hope you have a great night. Take care of yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, guys.